For the record, my name is Gabriela Coletta Zapata, District 1 Counselor, and I'm the Chair on the Boston City Council Committee on Environmental Justice, Resiliency, and Parks. Today is August 20th, 2024. This hearing is being recorded. It is also being live streamed at boston.gov/city-council-TV and broadcast on Xfinity Channel 8, RCN Channel 82, FiOS Channel 964. Written comments may be sent to the committee email at ccc.ep@boston.gov and will be made a part of the record and available to all counselors. Public testimony will be taken at the end of this hearing. Individuals will be called on in the order in which they signed up and will have 2 minutes to testify. If you are interested in testifying in person, please add your name to the sign-up sheet near the entrance of the chamber. If you are looking to testify virtually, please email our Central Staff Liaison, Michelle Goldberg, at michelle.a.goldberg, GOLDBERG, at boston.gov for the link, and your name will be added to the list. Today's hearing is on docket 0682, message in order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend a grant from Eversource valued in the amount not to exceed $10 million. Grant includes the value of rebates and equipment for the purpose of promoting energy efficiency and energy savings to various public buildings and infrastructure projects. We love that. This matter was sponsored by the administration and was referred to the committee on April 10th, 2024. Today, I am joined by my colleagues in order of arrival. Councilor Aaron Murphy at large and Councilor Ed Flynn representing District 2. We're not going to do opening remarks, but I do have 2 letters of absence from my colleagues. The first one is from Council President Ruth C. Louis-Jean, and then the second one is from Councilor Tanya Fernandez-Anderson. Okay, we'll pass it over to the administration. I would like to introduce today's panelist testifying on behalf of the administration. Mr. Carlton Jones, thank you so much for joining us, Executive Director of the Public Facilities Department. Please go ahead.
Well, thank you, Chair Coletta Zapata and Councilors Murphy and Flynn. I'm very happy to be here today. It's always a great thing when the City of Boston receives a grant, especially a grant of this size. $10 million can go a long ways into helping us with our efforts. So for energy efficiency and energy savings, we are very happy to apply this grant to our public projects. We have many, as you know, in our 5-year capital plan, and the city is very much behind the green initiative, making sure that we are becoming more energy efficient. And I like to use the expression "other people's money." If we can get grants such as this to help our efforts, then we are pleased to receive them. So, very happy to be here. And if you have specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to know the origin of, well, we know it's from Eversource, but is it because of any development project? Is it coming from mitigation? Is it an annual grant?
So unfortunately, I don't have that information. I wish I did know ahead of time the source of the grant. I know that there are many applications that are filed annually. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. My suspicion is this was put in progress a while ago to help our efforts, our energy efficiency efforts. But I don't actually have the details, but I can find them out if you like.
Okay, yeah, that would be great if we can just understand whether or not this is going to be a recurring grant. Separately, also, what is this money going to be allocated for? Are there specific projects in mind?
So it's interesting. We have several projects that are already in design. We have some projects that are in a feasibility study. So these specific projects, I would have to come back with a list that says these are the ones that we would like to add them to. But it really depends on the timing of the grant, when the money would arrive. Because as you know, we have to commit funds only once the funds are actually authorized and appropriated. So depending on the timing of the grant, I'd be able to tell you more specifically about when and how they would align.
Okay. And it says this would include the value of rebates and equipment. Do you have specific equipment that you know that this grant would fund?
Well, right now we're working on specific equipment. In general, air handling units, heat pumps, energy recovery units. That's the type of equipment that we would be applying this money for. There is a push for geothermal as well. So there's one project where we are working on geothermal heat recovery. And again, to the extent that we'd be able to spread the wealth, that's our goal, to be able to do so. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. So $10 million is a lot of money, but $10 million can only get spread so far depending on what the project size is. So I don't want to really overcommit, but we would really have to sit down and figure out what the allocation is, the timing of the funding stream. Is this a recurring fund? Those are the questions I really need to answer to be able to more specifically tell you how this would happen.
Okay, thank you. I am a fan of geothermal. I just went to Eastie Farm, and it really is, it's the future. So I'm happy to hear you bring up geothermal in general, but air handling units, heat pumps, and then if I could just get the origin of this money and why and how it'll be dispersed, that would be great.
Absolutely.
I'll pass it over to my colleagues in order of arrival. I believe it was Councilor Erin Murphy who showed up first, and then Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. First, I want to thank Eversource. $10 million is a lot of money, and grateful for them to give that to our city. It does state that one of the restrictions is the total amount, so it won't exceed 10 million, but are there any other restrictions that you're aware of other than the dollar amount?
I am not, because no other restrictions other than our typical restrictions. In other words, when we spend capital funds, we are restricted to public facilities and the like. No other restrictions beyond that, though.
And will any of these rebates or money be given directly to residents, Eversource users, or all for your department to use as we build out these capital projects?
Right. As I've read the information I have so far, it's strictly to public facilities, actual public assets, not distributed to residents,
Okay.
per se.
And the questions that the chair had already put on record, those would just be great. I know if you have an answer now, that'd be great. Do you? Or it looks like you will.
No. What I'm actually doing is taking notes to make sure that I accurately
great.
record the requests.
Okay.
I generally, as a rule, I'm very careful to try not to overcommit or overpromise. I'd really rather actually sit down and look at the list and say, based on the timing, because that's the key feature, as you know, because we have work that's already in progress. But I would like to be able to align as the money arrives. I could specifically say this is the amount. We can even have some pro forma cost allocations to say approximately this much for that project, approximately the amount for another project.
And it's inside your own department, but is there any way that people are going to be advocating for their project to get it? Or is it kind of first come, first serve, and then when it's gone? Do you have any ideas of how that's going to look?
I do, actually. So fortunately, we have, again, carefully choosing words, we're somewhat inoculated from the first come, first serve, or for those who ask, because we have a schedule of projects that are already in the pipeline. And so as projects are moving forward, there's a natural schedule that goes with it. So it's not really subject to, moving around or yielding to other concerns, let's just say it that way, right?
Okay.
So, no. And I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to just say, this is where he is. And, I have some of you know I came out of the budget office. I'm a very analytical, how much money do we have? How far down the list can we go? Draw the line, and that's the end of it, as opposed to moving things around. I hope that helps.
Thank you. No other questions. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Councilor Murphy. Councilor Flynn?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to Carlton for the work that you have done for the residents of the city for many years. Your professionalism and dedication to the residents is greatly appreciated. My question is, would this $10 million grant, would it help any residents living in public housing in making any type of infrastructure improvement?
So unfortunately, not this grant, not through our department, only because we do not have housing projects. I mean, if we did, I would love to be able to say that that's the case, but our projects are strictly for public buildings, public assets, So in public department assets, not public housing necessarily. So in this particular case, that would not be used for that grant.
Okay. Give me an idea of if someone did receive funding through this grant. Give me an idea of what type of infrastructure improvements a city building may receive.
Okay, so I can use an example that's currently underway. So, you know, the formerly known the Edwards Middle School, now it's the Horace Mann School and the Early Education Center. So we put a large mechanical unit on that building, heat recovery, energy recovery. We're shifting more towards heat pumps as a way to recover energy. We don't have geothermal at that particular location, but we are looking at geothermal at another location. So these are areas and these are ways in which this grant would be expended in that type of infrastructure.
And when I come to these meetings, I try to educate the listeners and viewers as well. Tell us what geothermal is, please.
Oh, okay. So geothermal is a way to utilize the natural heating and cooling of the earth. So wells are dug, and I'll use the example of I visited the Boston University Computing and Science Building, where they have 40 wells dug in and around the building, where they will run chilled water down that will warm up the chilled water. The water comes back up. Just the temperature differential between the water that goes down and the water that comes back when you're trying to go for cooling, and the opposite actually happens in the heating, that the water down, or the earth can actually warm up the water depending on what the temperature of the water is that gets sent down, that they use that as heat recovery. It's almost like electrification, where you have batteries and you're taking energy and you're storing it in a battery. You're taking water and you're running it through the ground, through these geothermal wells, in order to be able to take advantage of the change in temperature, which helps on your overall heating or cooling expenditure.
Is the Boston Water and Sewer Commission, are they part of that plan if geothermal was implemented?
So we always have to consult with Boston Water and Sewer on all of our projects. As my understanding, the geothermal in particular, no, because we're not tying into their networks, we're not tying into their water sources or uses of stormwater retention or the like. So as I understand, again, this is our first foray into this as well, and I'm becoming more and more knowledgeable about it. But as I understand now, no, Boston Water and Sewer is not involved.
Well, I had an opportunity to work with you, sir, for 7 years, and you're an outstanding, dedicated city employee. I have no further questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Flynn. I want to welcome you to Eastie Farm, if you haven't already been. They do geothermal, and it was built by union labor, who typically do gas fitting and plumbing. And they were part of it because they understand that there needs to be a just transition, but they have wells that go down 85 feet, and they use air. So no matter what, at this certain level of earth, it's 65 degrees, say. So it keeps it cool in the summertime and then warm in the wintertime. And then it also catches rainwater. So would love to have you come out if you'd like to, and that goes for all of my colleagues. But it truly is cutting edge, and I know the city's looking at it. So I think it was Franklin Field that they're starting to do a public housing project around geothermal. So, and Local 12 loves it. Other folks love it, the environmentalists. So it really is going to help us with our decarbonization goals and our electrification. If
I may add, we also have the John F. Kennedy School in JP. We've done test wells there. So we're beginning to use that as I don't want to say a test project, but our first project with the geothermal. Yeah, it's excellent. And I'm really looking forward to what the city is going to produce in terms of geothermal, so I hope that there's more to come. I would love to get that information from you. I don't have any other questions. Is there anything additional that you'd like to say about this particular grant? Not at this time. I look forward to getting the information to you expeditiously, just so you have a sense of where we're going and where we intend to go with these projects, with these funds, this grant fund. Great. Thank you so much. With that, we don't have any public testimony, I'm guessing, online or in person? Okay. So with that, we will move, nope, not public testimony. I guess this hearing will just be closed. We do have
city council meeting on Wednesday, and so if you can get that information to us, we'll move this grant forward. And then after that, I don't have the calendar in front of me. If we don't get that information, we'd have to go to the next council meeting. So with that, this hearing on docket 0682 is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.